Hi, welcome to my cooking series. I'm Sarah Hanem, and this is Breaking Bread with Hanem. Today we're going to be making a butternut squash soup, and 'tis the season, so the holidays are coming up. It's a good meal to have something warm, something hearty, and you don't feel too full after eating it. So we're going to start off with a few of our ingredients, and let's go ahead and get this burner going. I'm going to just add a little bit of olive oil. So I have a little bit of onion, I have some butter, which I'm going to use a little bit later, garlic, and ginger. We have over here some of the squash. So I have butternut squash, which was already pre-roasted, and also another type of squash I found in the store that I also roasted. I'm actually not sure the name of it, but it looked pretty good. So I was like, let me take that too. And then I roasted this one, so we're going to throw that in there as well. We have some herbs that we're going to throw into the soup as well. So we have sage, we have thyme and rosemary, don't mind the cilantro. And then we have some other special ingredients that we'll get to in a little bit, okay? So let's go ahead and add our onion. I left them kind of chunky because I'm going to blend this anyway, so I just wanted them to get browned and caramelized. Cook up these onions here. These are browning a little bit. I'm actually going to throw in a little bit of ginger, just a tad. This is going to bring out the flavors in the soup. So we'll do that. Let's go ahead and throw in some garlic. I love garlic, you know me. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in all this garlic here and let that all brown together, all right? Oh, the ginger smell is so good. I can really taste the smell of the ginger now. Just through my nostrils, you can taste it. So let's let that brown. While that's going, let's take a look at some of the herbs here, okay? So we have some sage, we have some thyme, we have some rosemary. And I like to get it fresh. You could use the dried herbs if you like, but I just prefer it to be fresh. Sage smells really good. So we'll throw a couple in there. And that will bring out the flavors in the soup as well. So we'll throw a couple in there. Let's throw a little thyme in there. I don't need a lot. And I just throw them in whole, no biggie. We'll use a little bit more of it later. I just kind of want the essence of the flavors to come out. Now, as that's going, I'm gonna add my secret ingredient. We have an apple. I usually use like a sweeter type of apple, so let's go ahead and cut this. If this was up to my mom, she would be cutting. My mom doesn't use a potato peeler. She cuts stuff like this, which I don't know why she does. But I'm like, she's a gangster. She's old school. She's old school Egyptian. You know, they don't have potato peelers in Egypt. I'm just kidding. So let's go ahead and just cut these up. Just shout out to Fatma. That's my mom. Hey, Mom. I already told her I was going to be cooking with her. I told her, I said, I'm coming over and cooking. She's like, okay. And my mom also, speaking of herbs, she has an amazing herb garden. She has all this stuff in her backyard. So every time I'm over there, I try to grab some herbs from her. Okay, so these are browning a little bit. You see the onions are getting brown. You can turn this down a little bit. All of my cooking skills really came from my mom, my siblings, you know, my sisters. They are really, really good cooks. And that's really where I learned most of my cooking stuff. But my mom is like top tier chef. Let's go ahead and put some pepper in there. Go ahead and put some salt in there. Just to kind of, for taste, to bring the flavors out. Add a little bit of some clove in there. So this is ground clove. I like to just throw it in there. This is what's going to bring the earthy tones out of the butternut squash. I like to we'll throw a little white pepper in there as well. Okay, just some regular white pepper. Some nutmeg. With these herbs, because they are so strong, I try to keep it light. And then I will add, I'll add to it as need be. You don't want to overdo it because then it will just overpower the soup. Now here's another little secret ingredient. I'm going to add a little bit of brown sugar in here. And so this is going to sweeten it up a little bit. But let's go ahead and mix this all up. You see my apples are getting brown, my onions are pretty caramelized. At the time, the leaves are pretty much coming off of it. So you can pull some of them off if you'd like. So for the people watching, I don't know if you guys are dry herb type of people or fresh herb, but comment below, let me know what you use in your recipes. I like to see what other people are doing. I am gonna try a little bit of it. Sometimes I just like to know where the flavor is going. So I'm gonna try an apple. Okay, that's pretty impressive. Let's go ahead and talk about our soup. So let's heat up the pan. I'm gonna go ahead and transfer this over here too, because I want these onions and apple and garlic and all those good herbs to come together with the butter. The butter is gonna take it to the next level, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and add our squash in here. So we have our butternut squash. I'm gonna go ahead, it was roasted, so I'm gonna add that in there. And I just went and got the pre-cut butternut squash. I know it's a little bit more expensive than buying it whole, but it's just easier for peeling purposes. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our secondary squash in there. So let's go ahead and add that. That one was also roasted. And I just want this. Smells good. All right, so I just wanted to heat it up a little bit. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some chicken broth. For the chicken broth, again, if you're vegetarian or vegan, you can use vegetable broth as well. But this is what I had in my cabinet, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit. And you can add as you go, okay? So you don't have to put all of it in there, but I just want it to kind of simmer, get some of the juices out of the vegetables in here. I'm gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and add a little bit more. It's better to put less and add more, and instead of just it's all in there and then you can't go back. You can't go back if you have too much of anything. We'll be adding a little bit more liquid in there, and we're going to be blending this as well. I just kind of want it to simmer a little bit. The coconut milk is also going to be the added liquid in here. The cream is what is going to make it thick, and that's going to be also for like a garnish at the very end, okay? So we'll leave these here. I'm going to let this simmer for a little bit. We also have some rosemary. So sometimes I like to just throw rosemary in there. Let's do that. Why not? The rosemary is always good, and we could take it out later. Okay, so we'll go ahead and add a little bit more of the chicken broth, and I'm gonna let that simmer. I'm gonna add the coconut milk a little bit later. I just kind of want this again to take its course. I'm really excited about the apple being in it. I've never had it with like apple in it. So I'm actually kind of curious to see how this is gonna taste. Let's see. So this is a normal Sarah reaction. I'm like, what else goes into this? Needs a little bit more salt. So I'll add a little bit more salt in there. And I'm gonna actually add some dry herbs to this too, because I want some of the more rustic flavors to come out in this soup. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna add a little bit more nutmeg in there. And I think I'm gonna add a little bit more brown sugar in it as well. Okay, so let's do that. I have some thyme, I have some ground thyme. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of the thyme in there. I like a combination of both dry and fresh herbs. Let's go ahead and add that in there. All right, you see it's simmering. I want to blend this up. I have a hand blender, so I might have to take it over there to do the hand blend. So let's go ahead and come over here. Go ahead and add this coconut milk. Bam. That's gonna set it off right there. Especially because it also is a little sweet, the coconut milk. And this is gonna really just take off. You see the color is now lightening up. I like where this is going. I like where it's going. So we'll blend it a little bit more. So let's go ahead and try this again. Yeah. Let's see how I'm feeling. I kind of want to take it to like the next level. So sometimes I play with herbs and like, I'm not sure what they're gonna do, but I like to just play with it a little bit. Let's see. I'm really excited about this. Make sure you put it on low also, because you want it to simmer. You don't want it to burn the bottom, and make sure you keep on churning it so that it doesn't burn on the bottom. Okay, so I think we're good for another blend. Let's go ahead and actually put this through my Ninja blender. I think this will blend it up a little bit better. This back in here. So it's creamy. It looks really good. All right, so I gotta try this. Let's see. That's slamming too. That is slamming. What is wrong with me today? So I added already the coconut milk. If you want, we can add a little bit more cream. Make sure it's on low. Don't burn it like me right now. Okay. I might put a little bit in there. Let's see what that does. That looks really good. I make this maybe once a year, because then I have like, you know, you have your fix of like whatever you wanted, and then you just don't have it the rest of the year. That's this meal right here. Okay, and we're pretty much done. So I'm gonna go ahead and plate it, and I'm actually gonna hand blend this a little bit more to get that coconut cream mixed in there, and I'll serve it up and we'll be done. Okay, so I'm gonna plate some for myself. So let's go ahead and get that in there. And so I'm just gonna circle it around. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then let's throw a little rosemary in there. Bam. And I like a little bit of some seeds, so whatever seeds you like. There you go, that's it. So here we are done with our butternut squash soup. Again, I'm Sarah Hanem, and this is Breaking Bread with Hanem. Thanks again for tuning in. Let's share a meal together.